And welcome to another Wargame replay. So I was playing a game with members of the Rat Pack against, randomers. If you're here, you should be feeling very glad. So we decided to do typical strategy. I actually cannot remember this game. Let me see. Humvees. So we had American. Oh, this. I remember this now. So we were planning like, okay, I'll go to Delta and a flank around there, So the idea was that we take this place. In the Rat Pack, it's known as the Waffle House. And you can understand why. I mean, like, from either side, like, if you're packed and get control of it, you can control that entire area. But if you're NATO, it does a lot better. Because you see, you get this entire area, and it's pretty open. So we see Tunnel Rat rushing across the river, getting into position, and I got my men just going along the side. So Tunnel Rat takes it, and he's got the job of holding the place against that. They actually send everything because I don't know what this guy does. Oh, so that was a lot of army. So massive combat down here starts. I have to admit, this is pretty interesting. Seeing all these tanks run across the field against light riflemen. Do not let that title fool you because I'm super practice. So my men, naturally, I take position up on the other side of the river, thinking, well, they're gonna obviously come and flank Tunnel Rat, right? Right? No, I'm completely and utterly wrong. I forget I have Cobras too. Oh, well. I sent my these things. I love them. They're crap, but they can take out lightly armored vehicles. Anyway, let's get back to the center of the action. You see just a graveyard of cars, and they're preparing their artillery. Oh yeah, I also run my Thunderbolts in and out. Very useful planes against armored pushes. So you see, they got the artillery coming in, Tunnel Rat crossing over here. I come in with my extra men, my LAPDs, and I forgot to load up my US Marines. It'd be really helpful. So we start to have a bit of an engagement with the enemy armor. Like, from my view, you can see that I'd seen everything at this point, but you can see they didn't see it fit. Ah, there we go, right. So you see, he can only see a small portion of my force, but when we go to my view, I could only see a very small portion of his. None of us knew that we had this many men, but at this point in the battle, NATO was winning. I correctly reversed my these things out, just put down suppressing fire, and then then Teddy comes in. I was about to say, I take his credit. Meanwhile, Teddy's being left to this side, just doing nothing. We didn't know what they were doing at this point. I mean, like, you can see one of them left at the beginning. He did, or at least I thought he did, to that point. Tunnel Rat tries to cross the area with his US Marines, and my guys are still coming up. So, yeah. I do decide to help him with starships, because they're meant to fly. But you can see Tunnel Rat just pushing through, just annihilating everything, and I'm providing him with a little bit of armor support. But you can see I got a decent amount of points. Just a few straight line building out, and then those things arrive, eh? Trust me, they're irritating. Forget I have this thing at the back too. Meanwhile, up north, I did think that they would try and do something, but they didn't. They didn't. So now they're just rushing anything they can. Now, I don't get it. They should have formed up here in Foxtrot, try to defend that area. Got my Hornet flying about. I used a lot of support in this game. Thunderbolts running in. We forget that they have a unit there. So yeah, they're taking my advice and building up. I move up with these things because they're cheap. They're like 15 points. Terrible armor piercing, but you're amphibious and to go with US Marines. Teddy brings up his heli force to support my armor, or vehicles. we didn't really see anything from here. You know, we didn't see a thing. We didn't know what was going on. We were thinking about bringing up recon, but we didn't. So bring up my next wave of troop transports. Very effective, by the way. Very effective. Tunnel Rat brings in more men. And you can see we just start securing the area. I mean, like, in comparison, we have very few forces. I have that Cobra hanging out in the back, but that does nothing. So we start off a little bit of an engagement. You see the Smirch goes off again. Tunnel Rat taking the bulk of it. But then they start that. We didn't know they had any men in the area. But just to add injury to it. So taking my advantage, I was thinking, okay, they got nothing in there. So let's press. Naturally, it didn't really work out. My next wave of LATVs just sitting back. Eventually Tunnel Rat, well, eventually they get destroyed. Tunnel Rat moves up with recon, I call in more starships. Naturally. My troops, my US Marines are, yeah, they're holding here. They do just start bombing themselves. I think. No, that was one of our planes. They just start bombing themselves, you know? Hold on for a second. Sorry about that. Right. Let's continue, shall we? They do actually just start bombing themselves, and I just start picking them off, really. Well, they do eventually move up with some ships, but it's too late. It's too late. It's just far too late for that. They should have supported this. This is what happens when you don't have teamwork. This is what happens when you do have teamwork. Tunnel Rat is pushing up again gloriously, and I'm providing him armor support, air support, anything I can do really at this point. Without teamwork, you really just fall in this game, you know? You fall very horribly. So you see they still have their MiGs flying about, but they're not that much of a threat. I got my Thunderbolt inbound. Just providing fire support as per usual. You see they do bring in a MiG. And they do take it down, I believe. No. No. Huh. They do try and get more men in, but I'm just sort of like scouting here with my Navy SEALs. Marking targets for artillery bombardment. But they do see me. Well, no, I marked myself. Wait. No, they don't actually see me. Huh. But I see that. Yep. And you can tell this is some serious heavy packed artillery. That's not it. I was thinking of something else. As naturally I try and do bombing runs, but you can see it doesn't really work out that well. Tunnel Rat and Sergeant Eddie try, but they just got mixed up. Eventually we both try an attack head on. I do bring in some more of these cheap things, just waiting for an attack. Meanwhile, Tunnel Rat is just pressing on the attack. Sergeant Eddie's bringing up ambiance, because why not? I bet these are just going to do a quick drive-by. Yeah. So, eventually I do begin my armored attack. Just pressing in. Taking advantage of him. Sergeant Eddie providing covering fire. Thunderbolts. Oh, no, wait, they weren't mine. They do bring in one vehicle, but it's just too late. So then we have Sergeant Eddie bringing all the Ontiums. See, look what happened. This is what happens when you don't work as a team. And this is why it's so much easier to do it on TeamSpeak, you know? I mean, like, tunnel editing it. Well, without tunnel editing, hybrid, tunnel rat, just holding the Waffle House, using that house, and we win. Before I can explain how we won, you can see we didn't really, well, my kill ratio was the lowest. By far. By far. And, yeah. So that's it. Not much else to it, I'm afraid. I mean, like, we won, and you've seen what they did wrong, and hopefully they will never repeat that. So see ya later, I guess.